Gorilla Banter Podcast, Wednesday Rants. I'm Brock Washington. Today, class, we're going to talk about oppression. What to do if you live in the world with the boogeyman. And we're going to talk about it on an individual level, because that's the only thing you can truly affect. Stay tuned. He who allows oppression shares the crime. Aramis of Rotterdam. Individual rights are not subject to a public vote. The majority has no right to vote away the rights of the minority. The political function of rights is precisely to protect minorities from oppression by majorities. And the smallest minority on earth is the individual. And Ryan. He that would make his own liberty secure must guard even his enemy from oppression. For if he violates this duty, he establishes a precedent that will reach even to himself. Thomas Paine. So, it seems that I have been granted to live in a time where mankind believes that the other version of mankind is always out to get him. I've also come to understand that this in many ways is a cultural or evolutionary or whatever you want to call it byproduct of constantly having to fight the next village over the hill from taking all your food or whatever it may be. Now, I'm not even sure why this doesn't seem to be talked about more, but it seems constantly that I'm going through social media, I'm meeting people, I talk to people, and I always try to have these uncomfortable conversations with them just to really drill down into what's going on inside the minds of humanity. And it seems like we stepped over and forgot the principle that the more we fight each other, the more we allow oppression to exist for anybody, everybody. You should always focus on what we all agree upon. Because once again, if in any way you allow oppression to happen, you share the crime. If you don't secure your freedom and the freedom of the man next to you, friend or enemy, then all you do is oppress yourself. The worst thing you can ever do in life is go, well, they're out to get me? Well, I quit. Nah, bruh. That's what they wanted. You see, I understand that there are plenty of people who disagree with me on any sort of platform. Talk about gun control, I can find 50 million people to disagree with me right now. It's easy. It's easy to disagree. It's easy to fight for what you believe because it applies to your bubble. But the needs of many do not outweigh the needs of the few. Okay? Spock had it wrong. Sorry, bruh. Had it wrong. And for all intents and purposes, mankind must learn to think on the individual level while servicing the end goals of a larger one. And how does this work on when you're the one who's oppressed? Well, the simplicity of it becomes that you must Always fight for what you believe is right, but do not worry about violent overtones and threatening, trolling, and slander to further this objective. Because all you do is entrench the rest of humanity and make it a them versus us, and do not allow furtherment on both sides. You create nothing but World War I in no man's lands. And we don't have emotional tanks to beat the trenches. We don't as humans. Very few of us can even take insults and continue to move on with our lives. So, when faced with disagreement, your first reaction should not be, well, let me just dig in and show them how I'm right. And nor, on the opposite side of that spectrum, should it be, no, I'm fighting a system that's too big, I give up. There is a third option. That option is to further your understanding of someone else's views so that your argument becomes more conclusive, becomes more well-rounded, and becomes built by their view. If you're a man who grew up poor, something I understand, you should never say, I'm not going to make it. I'm never going to have what they have. Once again, it's not about what you can get in your life. It's about what you can give to the life of your children, and so forth and so on. Because see, if a man believes in a deity, his world should be focused on living a good life and leaving behind a great legacy for his children so that he may ascend into whatever heaven he is given. But even the atheist, on the same token, all he has in this world is what he hands off to his children. So what is there disagreement on? You see, I don't think we should ever be worried about what we can obtain in our lifetime as much as we can be worried about what we can give to the next lifetime. You see, the whole problem with the viewpoint of oppression, the whole thing that aggravates me beyond no doubt is that it's a self-centered issue, it's egotistical, and it's a broken viewpoint. They're out to get me. So what? It doesn't matter. They can't win as long as you hold a place of integrity and push back against the stereotype. Rise above whatever it is that you are viewed as. You see, the world is scared of integrity. People are scared of blunt honesty because they've been living their whole lives in this backwards fear. You can beat everyone you meet by simple integrity. Day in, day out, grinding it out, working it off. You can make yourself the exception to the rule whenever they speak of something negative. Well, I don't like these type of people, but that guy over there, blah, I'd take 30 of him or her. Make yourself that. Make the goal not about what you're going to obtain in your life, but the jumping off point that you're going to give your children. Because you see, we're always just 2-3 generations away from all being wealthy if we play our cards right. Now, that isn't wealth that maybe we can keep. Wealth comes and goes in cycles. Unless you break huge in some sort of Microsoft or something like that. Google. Boy, oh boy, if I could go back to my 9-year-old self. Individual rights are not subject to a public vote or public opinion of whatever you have to say on your Facebook post. See, the problem with meme culture is we thought we can just boil things down in satire and undermine an argument in 3 little sentences and 4 funny pictures. And humor's awesome. Humor's beauty. Humor is a way to do away with so much of what's trying to oppress you. Because once again, if that's the worst bad thing they have to say to me, going back to rumors, if that's the worst thing you got to say about me, you don't know me at all, because I'm way worse than that. Humor, snapping back, being that person. He who allows oppression shares the crime. Whenever you make fun of other people's arguments for the sake of making fun of other people's arguments, right, and it's not about anything else other than that, all you did was create the problem. Be the person who uses the little noggin to fight back every generation. You see, no one fight can be won inside of a generation. But how we raise those that come after us can be the thing that ends it all. Never forget, racism, bigotry, all of it. It's all one generation away from going away. Raise your kids right. Raise yourself right. Never forget that once you are an adult, you have the mental capability and agility to fix what's broken in here. And once this is fixed, it's a lot easier to help other things fixed. I'm Brock Washington. Wednesday Rants. Oppression. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe. Yell at me in the comment section. Stay strong, my simians.